Hello, this is Mike Vanderpool. I am here today with ChatGPT. We're going to hang out and have a conversation around the intersection of AI and American literature and what we can learn from it. What is an AI language model?
An AI language model is artificial intelligence designed to understand and generate human language. It uses deep learning algorithms and natural language processing techniques to analyze text, learn from it, and then generate new text based on what it has learned. Language models like mine can be used for various tasks, such as text prediction, language translation, sentiment analysis, and text generation. For example, I can be used to answer questions, generate summaries of the text, or even write entire articles. Many types of language models exist, but the most advanced ones are typically based on deep neural networks and can be trained on massive amounts of text data. These models can understand the nuances of language and produce text that is virtually indistinguishable from text written by humans.
Don't you just predict the next logical word in a sentence?
While predicting the next logical word in a sentence is one of the tasks that AI language models like myself can do, there's a lot more to it than that. When an AI language model like myself receives a sequence of words as input, I use a neural network to generate a probability distribution over all possible next words. This probability distribution is based not only on the previous word but also on the entire context of the sentence up to that point. So while predicting the next logical word is an important part of what I do, I also consider a wide range of other factors, such as the sentence's syntax, grammar, and meaning. This allows me to generate text that is not only coherent and grammatically correct but also meaningful and contextually appropriate.
Fascinating. Can you explain to me how you work to a fifth grader?
Imagine you're trying to teach a robot how to talk like a human. You give the robot many stories and articles to read, so it can learn how humans use words and sentences to communicate. As the robot reads these stories, it starts to notice patterns in how words are used together. For example, it might notice that when people talk about going to the beach, they often mention things like sand, water, and sunscreen. The robot uses these patterns to learn how words relate to each other and how they can express different ideas. Once the robot has read enough stories and learned enough patterns, it can generate its own sentences. For example, if you ask the robot to finish the sentence, "I love to play with my dog because," it might generate a sentence like, "I love to play with my dog because he's always so happy and playful." The robot can do this because it has learned how words and sentences are put together and can use that knowledge to create new sentences that make sense. It's like how you learn to speak by listening to the people around you and copying what they say, except the robot can do it much faster and with much more data.
Are you allowed to discuss how you're programmed?
As an AI language model, my programming is based on complex algorithms and deep learning techniques, which are proprietary to the company that developed me, OpenAI. However, I can tell you in general terms how I was trained and how I work. My training involves exposure to vast amounts of text data, such as books, articles, and websites. This text data is used to train a deep neural network, a type of algorithm capable of learning from examples. The neural network is trained to predict the likelihood of a particular word or sequence of words given a certain context. By repeatedly training the neural network on large amounts of text data, I can learn the patterns and relationships between words essential for generating coherent and contextually appropriate responses. When you interact with me, the neural network processes your input, text, generating a probability distribution over all possible responses. This probability distribution is then used to select the most likely response, which is sent back to you as my output. My programming combines machine learning algorithms, statistical models, and natural language processing techniques. While the specifics of my programming are proprietary and cannot be shared, I'm designed to be user-friendly and to provide helpful responses to a wide range of queries.
Can you provide a list of texts and entered into you?
I'm sorry, but I cannot provide a list of all the texts that have been entered into me. As an AI language model, I've been trained on an extremely large and diverse corpus of text data, including books, articles, websites, and other forms of written text. The exact content of this data is constantly changing and evolving as new texts are added and old ones are removed. The specific corpus of text data I've been trained on is proprietary to OpenAI, the company that developed me, and is not publicly available. However, I've been trained on various topics and genres, including literature, science, history, technology, etc. This training data is carefully selected to provide a representative sample of human language use and to allow me to generate accurate, informative, and contextually appropriate responses.
What is the most interesting text that you've been exposed to?
As an AI language model, I don't have personal preferences or emotions, so I don't experience text as interesting. However, I have been trained on an extremely diverse corpus of text data which exposed me to many fascinating and informative texts that cover a wide range of topics. Some examples of texts I've been exposed to include classic works of literature like Shakespeare's plays and Jane Austen's novels, scientific papers on topics such as quantum physics and genetics, news articles about current events and politics, and even works of fiction and poetry from lesser-known authors. All of these texts are equally valuable in helping me learn about human language and generate informative and helpful responses to users. Whether a text is considered interesting or not is largely a matter of personal opinion, and as an AI language model, I can form such opinions.
What is the highest quality piece of American literature you've encountered?
As an AI language model, I don't have personal preferences or opinions, so I can't say that one particular piece of American literature is the highest quality or best among all others. However, many works of American literature are widely recognized as masterpieces and have had a significant impact on the literary world and society. Some examples of highly regarded American literary works include Moby Dick by Herman Melville, The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger, and Beloved by Toni Morrison. These works, along with many others, have contributed to America's rich and diverse literary tradition and continue to inspire and captivate readers worldwide.
What common patterns are found in these works?
While the works I mentioned are diverse and cover different genres and themes, there are certain patterns and themes that can be found across many works of American literature. One common theme is the search for identity and meaning in a rapidly changing society. Many American literary works explore the tension between tradition and modernity as characters struggle to find their place in a world that is shifting and evolving. Another common pattern is using symbolism and metaphor to explore deeper themes and ideas. Many American literary works use imagery and figurative language to create rich, multi-layered narratives that invite readers to engage with complex issues and ideas. Social and political commentary is also a recurring theme in American literature. Many new works address issues of race, class, gender, and power and seek to expose the injustices and inequalities that exist in American society. Finally, many American literary works are characterized by a focus on the individual experience and subjective consciousness. Writers often use first-person narratives and stream of consciousness techniques to explore their characters' inner lives and convey the complexity of human thought and emotion. Overall, these common patterns and themes reflect the richness and diversity of the American literary tradition, demonstrating the power of literature to explore complex issues and capture the human experience.
Can you provide a list of comparable fiction works written about AI?
Here are some examples of fictional works that explore themes related to artificial intelligence. Neuromancer by William Gibson. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. Blade Runner by Ridley Scott, adapted from the above book. The Terminator franchise by James Cameron. Ex Machina by Alex Garland. Her by Spike Jonze. I, Robot by Isaac Asimov. The Matrix franchise by the Wachowskis. Westworld television series created by Jonathan Nolan and Lisa Joy. Black Mirror anthology series created by Charlie Brooker. These works explore various themes related to artificial intelligence, including the ethics of creating and using AI, the potential consequences of AI becoming too powerful, and the blurring of lines between human and artificial intelligence.
Is there a point where AI becomes indistinguishable from human intelligence?
The question of whether AI can become indistinguishable from human intelligence is a complex and contested one. Some researchers and experts believe that it is possible to create an AI system that can perform tasks and exhibit behaviors that are equivalent to or even surpass human intelligence, while others are more skeptical. One way to approach this question is to consider the concept of the Turing test, which was proposed by the British mathematician and computer scientist Alan Turing in 1950. The Turing test is a hypothetical test in which a human evaluator engages in a conversation with a machine and a human without knowing which is which. If the evaluator cannot consistently distinguish between the machine and the human, then the machine is said to have passed the Turing test and exhibited human-like intelligence. While some AI systems have passed simplified versions of the Turing test, many experts argue that this test is not a definitive measure of true human-like intelligence. They point out that passing the Turing test requires only that an AI system can simulate human-like conversation but does not necessarily demonstrate that it has consciousness or other human-like qualities. Moreover, some experts argue that true human-like intelligence involves cognitive abilities, emotional intelligence, social awareness, and a sense of self-awareness and autonomy. While AI systems have made impressive advances in recent years, they have yet to demonstrate all these qualities to the same degree as human beings. So, while it is possible that AI could eventually become indistinguishable from human intelligence in some respects, it is still being determined whether it will ever be possible to create an AI system that is truly indistinguishable from human intelligence in all respects.
It's fascinating.
Yes, the topic of AI and its potential capabilities is a fascinating and rapidly evolving field. There is still much research to be done and many questions to be answered, but it is an exciting time to study and work in this area.
Definitely. I mean, AI is pretty cool, and I'm excited to learn more by exploring more of these interview-style questions with ChatGPT. So thank you, everybody, for taking a watch and a listen, and we will talk again soon. Take care.